German boat. This is China, though, with Zhang and Liu, two women who've already got silver medals from these championships in the double sculls in the stern of that boat. Then Denmark, they were 6th last year, and again it's the stern pair in their boat who survive for this year's championships. The United States, they were 9th, and Kelly Salcho in the stroke seat there, she was in the boat a year ago. In lane number 4, Russia, who were silver medalists, with Yulia Levina setting the rhythm in the stroke seat. Germany in 5, Kerstin Kowalski at stroke, then Manuela Lutz, Mikey Evers, and in the bow, it's Maren Derlien. And completing the lineup in lane 6, Ukraine, who didn't quite make the final. They were 7th a year ago. Quick starts there by both Germany and also Ukraine.
Yeah, Germany there finding it really difficult. It's very much like a sea out there, and they're having a lot of trouble in the beginning there. Yeah, the bow girl's she just lost her scull, and she's having a lot of trouble. They nearly came very badly unstuck there, but they've got it back together again, and they are there almost now in the lead in these first 200 meters.
So Germany, Ukraine, just about in 3rd place would be the Russians at the moment, but very early days. And a moment to just pass on the information for British fans that Great Britain qualified for the Olympics by winning the B final. That was Gwyn Batten, Catherine Granger, Sarah Winkless and Lisa Eyre. So they must be pleased about that, Miriam.
Yeah, they had a tough race with the Belarusians, but rode through in the last part of the race. It was good to watch it. They were disappointed not to make the final, but to get that qualification slot is a good start for next year.
Germans in picture now. They look a lot more confident, but when you get these sort of conditions, you must get a little bit more nervous than normal.
Yeah, you begin to fear the race being longer than it would normally be. But because it's a longer race, sometimes it gives you more chance to catch up or to dominate the race. So there's plus points and there's down points.
Ukraine yet to get a gold medal at these championships.
Well together, though. They're moving very well together. Rating a little bit lower again. It's strange how crews on lane 6 seem to be rating a little bit lower, but moving very, very effectively. Yes, I think the sculler in the bow of the German boat, she's having a bit of a struggle there still with the just keeping it well together.
That's Maren Derlien, who was a spare last year in the World Championships. We did say earlier that they are relatively inexperienced.
We've got a powerhouse in the middle of the boat. Mikey Evers has been around for a few years. She was a single sculler at the Olympics, and she also won a gold medal in the women's double in '97 in egg ballet. The girl at 3, she was also in the quad last year, but Uta has managed to mould these 4 girls together to produce a very successful quad and put her best 2 into the double, so she can get 2 good results.
Now here's another interesting quartet. The Russian silver medalist a year ago, Yulia Levina, again very experienced. In fact, used to scull in the quad, if I remember rightly, with Fedotova.
That's true, yeah. But they're sitting there quite nicely, sitting there now in 3rd position, just behind the Ukraine. But moving out in front are Germany.
Germany, who have this fantastic record. This boat class was established in 1985, and only once since then have they lost the title. That was to China in 1993, and it was in 1993 that Zhang, who's in the Chinese boat on the far side, won that gold medal for them, along, of course, with her 3 crewmates. But Germany now establishing themselves on the rest of the field ahead of the Ukraine, and then in 3rd place Russia, ahead of the United States and China, who are pretty close together actually. China in lane 1 and the United States in 3. And Denmark at the moment not featuring. As you can see, the clock there telling you that they're a long way back. But now the water's got a little bit easier, the Germans are flowing that much better.
Yeah, they really are flying now. They've got just over a length there, coming up to the 1,000-meter mark. But Ukraine establishing themselves pretty well there in second position, about half a length ahead of Russia.
They're in the stroke seat. That's Kerstin Kowalski from Potsdam, just 23 years of age, junior world champion 4 years ago in the quadruple sculls, but now trying to add the senior gold medal in this year's championships.
Yeah, she calling it up there for Ukraine. They want to start making a move now at halfway, and they are sculling very comfortably. It's almost as if they just really want to hold on to that second place and make sure they keep Russia at bay. But Germany are well out in front and very confident.
Americans, this is Kelly Salcho in the stroke seat from Philadelphia.
The American quad was a big surprise this year. They haven't done much in quads of late, and they put this quad together, which was very successful at Lucerne, getting the silver medal.
But no one's going to touch this German quad now. The further they go, the more confident they get and the smoother it looks. The boat's travelling beautifully between the strokes, and they're looking very confident there, now a length ahead of Ukraine. But Ukraine too looking nice and comfortable in that second position with Russia third. But look how they've stretched the field. They really have opened up 3 or 4 lengths on positions 4, 5 and 6. And the United States now leading the pursuing group.
Well, leading, but it's a forlorn chase, I have to say. It's all about the 3 crews, and the money, well, if we put it down, Dan, we'd be smiling now, because it doesn't matter that this is a new quartet. The Jutta Lau magic is working once again, and all that hard work and attention to detail that she puts in is really paying off. And as you say, the Ukraine have looked very smooth, but they don't seem to be able to close that gap. That angle's a little deceptive, but it does actually suggest at the very moment that I say that they're beginning to try to get back on terms.
Yes, no, they do. They're moving well. It's interesting in the German squad how the women are doing so much better than the men, really. For a long time now, Germany, who were silver medalists last year in the 8s, the German men, haven't qualified for the Olympics. They're not even in the final here, but the women's squad are moving very well indeed and providing success for Germany constantly and right along the line. But here they are now, nearly a length and a half up on Ukraine.
It's quite deceptive there. I'm just wondering whether they've actually got back and might almost have a slight overlap there, the Ukraine. That's Svetlana Mazel, who's been asking the Ukrainians for their effort, and there Yulia Levina of Russia trying to keep her crew up to the task. They look pretty solid to finish in those positions, and difficult as we come inside the grandstand enclosures to see much change to this order. But yet again, the Germans have got a great quartet, and at the line they are indeed almost a length and a half ahead of the Ukraine, who cruise in half a length ahead of the Russians and an enormous gap to the rest. Nice little race here across the line, the United States and then China just keeping out the Danes, who come with a late flourish.
Well, it was a shaky start for Germany, I thought. They found the rough water at the beginning there rather difficult to deal with, but the further they went, the more confident they got, and there they are again now, well clear of the field and looking strong.
Another trophy for the Jutta Lau sculling factory. And the Ukraine, their first medal of the championships here, this silver ahead of Russia. And a private race really in the end for these 3.
But all of them qualified for the Olympics next year.
Indeed.